The PE sport premium is basically a cross-department government funding schools, and they fund, I think it's 1.5 million, 150 million every year for schools throughout the UK, and that's basically just to increase. Their aims are to get students to have a healthy and active lifestyle, and perhaps even get into sports, and maybe as for not necessarily as careers, but to have an active life outside of school as well as inside of school. And so that's basically what they do. And there was some research done by a woman called Emily Tanner, and basically she published some research on looking at, over the past few years, how much this premium actually helped out, how much it increased anything. And she found that schools were now moving on to do more extracurricular sports, which then increased the employment rate of sport-specific PE teachers and coaches, which is like where I fit in, when I'm coming in and playing rugby. I'm rugby specific. As for, there was teachers that were basketball specific, hockey, cheerleading, and so on. Anyway, that increase was found in 81% of schools over the UK from 2014 to 2015. That the increase of employment of sports-specific teachers and coaches, and that's more likely to now to doing more extracurricular sports teams. The reason why that is the reason why that's increased, so that these sports teams can have coaches who are sport specific to them, so they can then develop them pupils within that sport on the right track. For example, even though it's in core PE, I was specific to rugby, so I came in and I improved them on their basic rugby throughout the 6 weeks. But the only reason why I was able to do that is because I was sport specific, I was rugby. As for, it'd be the same if one of the teachers was doing cheerleading. She would, obviously within the 6 weeks, she would then get them to improve their cheerleading over the course of them weeks, and that's because she's sport specific. So this increase of teachers and increase of extracurricular sports and increase the demand for new equipment, which is what some of the money's been used for as well. So, for example, at St Paul's, where I was working out, we had things when I was there like the 3G pitches, the sports hall, trampoline, and everything else. However, now come back a few years later, they've increased the amount of equipment they've got. They now have a new trampoline, a better trampoline. They got cheerleading. Had never done cheerleading, or cheerleading was never even a core PE thing that was done for the girls. Now it is, and now they've got a teacher in that's specific to cheerleading. There's a rugby pitch now. There was never a rugby pitch when I was there. So all these things, that money, not just from governing bodies, but obviously even though this works in the government, it's sort of its own company as well. So, but from the funding that's coming from the schools, that's how it's been spent and everything. And obviously I've seen the increase because of it from that school anyway. That then increased participation. So in the same year, 2014 to 2015, the rate of participation was found that in 53% of schools, there was a reported that the amount of sports teams that were being increased was all dependent on the amount that participated, and because of all this new equipment, and now they've got sports specific coaches, so they feel like they're going to do well and improve. This increased the participation overall of the pupils for these teams, and so therefore the aims of getting a healthy active lifestyle and introduction to sport, and hopefully getting these kids not just doing sport in school, but perhaps using that to do sport outside school to keep them healthy in the way they've done it by reaching them directly through education like this has worked.